Right, deep breaths in and out, connecting with Father Sky and Mother Earth. What is your energy telling you today? How is that energy moving up and down that tube? If it's slow, move slow today. If it's moving fast, you got a lot of energy. Get things done today. Pay attention. How does your breathing feel? Does your chest feel heavy or light as you're taking your breaths? If your chest feels heavy, you're still tired. It's okay to go back to sleep. It's okay to not get up at 6 a.m. and maybe catch these on the replay on YouTube. Do what works for you. Don't force, don't push. Flow. Don't hustle. Align. Don't think too hard. Just connect. Your higher self will lead you. Your guides will gently nudge you. Pay attention. Today, our guides want to focus on our triggers. We've been working hard this week on taking pauses, on staying focused and aware. But let's talk about our triggers. We all get angry. We all have something that just makes us boil. Think of one of those things now. What is something that just gets you so upset? Now let's break it down. What is behind that anger? Is it fear? Is it sadness? Most of the time, it's fear. Fear of looking stupid, fear of being disrespected. What is it? Feel it now. What is the emotion behind it? Now look at the person that you're upset about or that makes you upset. Could be a random person that just does the offense, right? Look at that other person. The next time you are triggered, instead of making it about you, they stole from me. They were disrespectful to me. They lied to me. They yelled at me. They're telling rumors about me. They hurt my friend. They're having an affair. Blah, blah, blah. This, that, and the third. Whatever it is that they're doing that made you mad, don't make it about you. Stop. Take a look at them for a second. Why? Why did they do that? Why did they lie? Why did they steal? Why did they cheat? Why did they act like an asshole? Why? Make it about them for a second. Can you take that pause and look at it from a higher perspective? Why are they doing the things that they are doing? It makes it less about you. You cannot control others. You cannot control how they were raised, or their triggers, or their behaviors, or their trauma. You can only control ours. And the way we control it is when we are triggered, we do not allow ourselves to go into that lower vibration. We choose to take a pause, to look at it from the higher perspective by looking at the other person and trying to understand instead of making it about us. Our egos make it about us. That is where the trigger comes from. That is where the lower vibrational emotions come from. That is how we move through the experience. But we can change it. We can reprogram it. We can choose to look at the person and try to understand. When you do that, it's funny how quickly your guides will show you moments that you have acted like that person, or that you have maybe been offensive, or that you may have been the offender. And when you think about it, why you behave that way, why you may have said or done something, it makes it so much easier to understand, to forgive, to shift. Here comes my favorite word, to alchemize. You change. You change the composition of how you feel, how you receive, and how you give. Anger is our choice. So is peace and understanding and love. That is why we say when you can give yourself grace, when you can forgive yourself, that's why it starts with that self-love. Because when you love yourself, when you forgive yourself, you are able to forgive others and see them from that higher perspective and give them that grace. And you're not as angry anymore because your ego doesn't need it. You're not scared because you're confident. We don't need to be triggered. We don't need to defend ourselves. We can show love and understanding and compassion, not only towards others, but especially for ourselves. So let's take a deep breath in. Deep exhale. 2 more as we sit in our space. Slowly bring your awareness back to your fingertips and your toes. If you want to stay in this space, you can mute me. If not, go ahead and open your eyes. Give yourself a nice little stretch or a yawn. If anybody wants to share. I was kept hearing Adele, and the words are, I see fire through the rain. And I'm like, oh my, I don't know all the lyrics, but I'm gonna have to go look them up. It's like, okay, Adele, lighten it up. It's quiet today. Okay, and do some intuition tests, but we are going to do, they didn't want me to step it up. We're only gonna do 3, and it's gonna be the telepathy ones where I'm gonna give you 2 choices and we're gonna see, okay? So first things first, I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm just gonna send some Reiki to your third eyes. Remember, don't judge. When I give you the 2 options, just take a deep breath, close your eyes, take a deep inhale, take a deep exhale. And whatever the first thing is that comes to your mind, stick with it. Do not judge it, okay? So we're gonna go with the first one, red or black. I'm only going to say them once. Okay. We're going to the next one. White or blue? Green or yellow? All right. It was red, blue, and yellow.
I got 2.
All right. All right.
Did you?
Yay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Christine, trust me, she said, that's how I've been trying to do things, but have my moments when ego wins. Yeah. Listen, I told you 2 weeks ago, a little girl stole something and I got so mad. And when she walked out, because I wasn't so mad, but it was her attitude that pissed me off. So that's why when she walked out, I was like, that's why your mother hates you. Who says that? So yeah, in the past, I'd have been like, that's why your mother hates you. So trust me, we are all a work in progress. So yeah, I know. Trust me, my ego wins a lot too. But
I had a few questions because I always have questions, but it's like, okay, we can't change someone else, we can only change ourselves. So then we look at this from their perspective, but what if they don't even know why they do what they do? So then you try and look at it as like, okay, why is this person doing this? Why are they having these actions? But when you're in the midst of it, you're really angry and pissed off, it's very hard to take that step back, look, see that person in a different light because you're just so angry.
first, you have to say, first, you can't. You're too angry. First, you have to not be angry. Like first, that's why it's hard. Like you have to sit there. Like when I'm in those moments before I can even look at that person because I just want to strangle them, I do have to calm myself down. I have to
Yeah.
sit there and literally say to myself, I am choosing to get upset right now. This is what I normally do. I get pissed off and then I get upset and then why? What is this? Why am I making this choice? This is so dumb. Okay, let me take a pause. Why am I upset? That's why I said, why are you upset? Do you feel disrespected? Do you feel that they made you look stupid? You have to ask yourself, why am I upset?
Yeah, okay. So once you figure out why you're upset, because obviously, yes, you do know why you're upset, then
That's the first step. It takes
okay.
sometimes months before you can even look at that
Yeah.
person from that higher perspective. When I would get upset when somebody would steal about 5 years ago, and this is why I'm sober, I would be so pissed off because I felt disrespected. I felt that they felt like they were getting over on me. I felt like they were like, that they were like laughing and mocking me for,
Yeah.
getting away with something.
Yeah.
All these stories that I put in my head. Meanwhile, no, they just want a lip gloss. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't. And my husband Todd was the one that put into perspective because I would come home and be so pissed off. My dad lived with us and we had a full bar. He had scotch, gin, Seagram 7 whiskey. That was his favorite. I was such a fucking fool that I would let my anger get me so upset that I would come home and do shots of whatever was there. My dad would have a jug of Seagram 7. He liked to drink 7 with 7 Up. They call it 7 and 7 here. And I would just take shots of Seagram 7. That is an alcoholic. Nobody drinks Seagram 7 like that. When I would finish his jug, I would have Todd go buy me a new jug to replace it. When I got so bad, I was doing shots of Johnny Walker Red, Johnny Walker Black. When I finished all the scotch, all my dad had left was Tanqueray. I was doing shots of gin. Okay, fucking disgusting. And then I would pass out. I would work from 10 to 9 every day. I would pass out. I'd come home at 9:30. I would do my paperwork. I'd get drunk while I was doing it. I'd be going on and 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 on about the little girl that stole lipstick at 2:30. On and on and on and on. I'd go to sleep. I'd wake up and go and rinse and repeat. That's why I hated that store. That's why yesterday I had this whole shift where I was like, things aren't like they were. But my programming, my imprint, my body was still holding on to how things were 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 5 years ago. I'm still working through washing off of that stuff off of me, which is why, okay, I don't drink anymore. But 2 weeks ago, I just told that 17-year-old that her mother hates her. So yeah,
Yeah. I was gonna say, so how have you worked through this? How have
so
you changed that mindset?
I stopped drinking. Okay, drinking
Yeah.
was not helping me. So I had to stop drinking. That was number one. And then number two, putting the mirror on myself. The second I get upset, why am I mad? I take myself completely out of that situation. It's like, when you're watching a movie and the person like goes into like a dark scene and they go into third person and they start narrating. That's literally what I do. I take myself out of that scene. I go into up here. I close my eyes. I go into my meditations. This is why we do this. And I say, why am I mad? Why am I mad right now? I am choosing to get upset. Every time somebody steals, I still go through, why am I mad? Why am I mad? Calm down. Calm down, Kim. Kim, calm down. Calm down. I still do this. You have to calm yourself down. This is the only way. You have to get that Incredible Hulk that starts ripping all his clothes off, turns green, and builds and grows into this huge monster who's like, Hulk smash. Bring Hulk down, calm him down, bring him back into this human form. Why am I mad? Why am I mad? I gotta calm down. You feel it in your chest. You feel it in your muscles. You feel it in every cell of your body. And you are the only one that can control it. You have to calm yourself down. Why am I angry? Why am I angry? Like, especially like I'd be pissed too if I had somebody who, in your situation that continued. But then you have to say, okay, I can't get angry. What is anger doing for that?
Yeah. Yeah, and then what's the next step? So once you obviously you figure out, like, you know why you're angry, okay?
Now you
Okay,
look at
you
the other
you figure
person.
that out and then you calm yourself down, but then how do you release that?
Then you look at the other person. I'll give my example, my sister.
Yeah.
And that's why I said like, and it's funny because that's why I can't be a therapist because therapists aren't supposed to talk during therapy. But I'm like, let me tell you what happened with me. Let me tell you what happened with me. I talk so, and I because I give examples, right? My sister, every time she treated my mom like shit, I would get so mad, and I would just be like, what a fucking bitch. And then I'd sit there, and then like, here's the unhealthy part. Then instead of helping my mom heal whatever she was going through with my sister, I'm co-signing and I'm telling my mom, you should be angry about that. And you should be angry about this. I can't believe she treats you like that, making it way worse. I was not helping it. My guides told me this. They're like, you're a little fucking bitch. Look at how you're act. You are fanning those flames, Kim. Yeah, mommy, be mad at her. Yeah, mommy, she's a bitch. Yeah, mommy, what a brat she is, fanning those flames instead of being like, well, mommy, you know, maybe you shouldn't insult her every single time you come down. Mommy, well, maybe you can try being, maybe you should see why Tina's. I know why my sister's why she's angry at her mom. I was too. But I was able to let go of those resentments because I was seeing my mom from that higher perspective where she came from an Asian country. I want her to hug me, but she won't. My sister has not been able to let go of those things. Well, I didn't choose to be born here. She needs to realize that she has American daughters. Well, da 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 da. And trust me, I used to think that way. So it's crazy how my sister and I used to be in a group called Daughters of Narcissistic Mothers because my sister and I used to side and be like, yeah, mommy's a bitch. Mommy needs to hug more. And mommy, it's so crazy how, like, when I was on my sister's side, how we used to gang up on my mom. Now I used to use change my perspective. And then my mom and I were ganging up on my sister. So now I'm just shutting the fuck up, staying in my lane, and focusing on me. Why do I let
Okay, thank
everybody
you.
else deal with
Yeah.
their own shit? I would get so mad about the way my sister was treating my mom. Then the one day during meditation, my guides were like, you're the fucking idiot. How's your knee feel, Kim? You haven't been able to run because you're so angry at your sister. Is your mom crippled? Is your mom broke? Is your mom handicapped? Your mom
Yeah.
has the
Yeah.
financial means, the physical means to move out of your sister's house. Your mom is choosing to stay there and continue to be treated like shit. She can leave. Your mom is choosing to stay there. Your sister is choosing to treat her like shit, and you have no fucking business with any of that, and you are choosing to put your nose in it, you are choosing to get upset, stay out of it because Tina's going to act the way she's going to act. Your mom's going to act the way that you're going to act. You're responsible for how you act. And I saw how shitty I was being by looking at that. Oh my God. When Tina and I were friends, we were ganging up on my mom, saying what a shitty mom she was. Then when my sister and I were fighting, I ganged up with my mom, saying how shitty my sister was. Well, look, you know what, Kim, you're a pretty fucking shitty person too, Kim. Maybe you should go look at what the fuck you're doing and look at how shitty you were being to your sister. Look at how shitty you were being. I had to leave that group, Daughters of Narcissistic Mothers, because when I healed, when I started to see my mom from a different perspective, I totally didn't agree with those insights anymore. I was like, wow, you sound like a bunch of hurt crybabies. But meanwhile, I agreed with
Yeah.
everything they had said before. Then when I stopped drinking, when I started healing, all those words hit me different. I was like, you all sound like a bunch of unhealed crybaby daughters. It was crazy. I had to leave the group. I didn't feel that way
Yeah.
anymore. I was able to
Okay, I get
forgive
it.
my mom and
Yeah.
see her a totally different way. And I didn't see her as a narcissistic mother anymore. I saw her as a unhealed human being. I didn't see her as a narcissist. Like even my sister, I'm like, my sister's not a narcissist. She's really not. She has narcissistic personality traits, but so do I. Do you know what I mean? And because I see those things in her, it's because I have those traits. Anything I see in someone, there's someone in in our Jesus group that annoys me. When she talks, I'm like, ah, God, she's so like, and there's nothing wrong with her. It's me. So like the way she talks, I'm like, huh, I need to go figure out why I'm bothered by her. She's just her. She's not doing anything. Something about her, I'm like, ay, ay, ay. Why? Why do I feel that way about her? It's something in me. So when you're angry at someone, when someone is just constantly triggering you, like my sister did, like my dad did, like my mom did, it's me. I'm choosing to be triggered. You have to figure out, why are you so mad about that? And then you have to come to a choice to let things go. Certain things that you can't
Yeah.
change. I cannot change my sister. I have to let that go. I just have to let it go. And that this year, I'm definitely not angry anymore. And I think you guys know, I don't hide anything. It's been 2 years. I've definitely, when I talk about her, it's different. I'm not like, and it's shifting. I want to go back and watch some of the videos. For those of you who have been on for almost 2 years, Karina, I wanted to tell you,
Yeah.
I was trying to fix that yoga nidra video. For some reason, I even followed a YouTube. They said to send a private video, do A, B, and C. I did that. Caroline's not able to see it. Janie hasn't been able to see it. Still trying to figure it out. But while I was doing that, it took me back to one of our beginning videos, and you were leading. There was 6 of us. It was
Oh,
you, Melinda, Heather when she was still on it. Uh oh wow, who was her? God, Heather's good friend. I'm having a fucking anyway, there was only like 6 or 7 of us, and it was like so beautiful to see like how it has grown, and like it's just, yeah, it's a beautiful space. So
Yes. Oh, Jesse. Maybe Jesse was on
no, it
there.
wasn't Jesse.
No.
Oh, Marilyn. I was like, I don't know why I was having, it was Marilyn, me, you, Heather, Ratty, I think it was Jean. I can't remember, but yeah, there was only Caroline. I think it was like only like 7 of us. I can't remember, but I have to go
Yeah,
back.
like there was like only a few, and look at it now.
Yeah, yeah. And it was crazy because when I first started doing the whole group, I remember it built up to like 16 people. And I was like, I don't know what happened, but I was like, I can't do this. I gotta take a break. Remember that? And I was like, I gotta take a break. I can't do this. And I did.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, what am I doing? No, we gotta do this. And then it took, and then it just grew and grew and grew. But yeah. Um, in Caroline, it just takes time. And that's why I said I love it. I love that these are video. I definitely probably I'm gonna go back when I have time and just watch a couple of the early ones. You know what I mean? And just see
Yeah,
and hear
Yeah.
definitely.
the
And I
growth.
think I think guys, if you ever have questions, like I always question, like there will be someone else that'll be thinking the same thing. So don't be scared or think there's any stupid question. Because like I do Reiki and everything, and I'm still asking these questions because sometimes you just like need reassurance in your head of like how to move forward. Because sometimes there are areas that you just feel a little bit stuck, and you just need that help to, how do I move forward with this?
Yeah.
And we were talking about this exact same thing yesterday in our yoga processing group. And so it's just like an ongoing theme that I absolutely love, that I know that I'm personally working on every single moment in my day sometimes. But so like Kim says, like whenever we get triggered, to take a step back and ask why, right? And when you go into that rabbit hole, following it down to the very, very core of why, 99% it comes down to fear. And we don't need to be living in fear. We truly don't. So it's yeah, we don't
Fear of
need
being stupid, fear of being disrespected, fear of, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
fear
it's
of being
usually fear of
unloved.
looking dumb. That's usually like
Yeah.
70% of it.
And for me, it's always feeling like not loved and not good enough. And I'm a people pleaser. So, like, I'm a recovering people pleaser. So, everybody has that why. So, once you figure out your why, then you can ask your guides. You know, guides, help me, please help me, angels, to see things differently. And please, and then just if you can't, just keep asking for their guidance and their help to see things differently, and then say, I choose to see things differently, and come back and respond from a place of love. Remember, it's not this is not you, it is them having their experience. Their experience is not your experience. Don't let it be.
Yes, and then this morning when I was on my walk, I used your words, Karina. What's my next step?
Mm-hmm.
Show me
Absolutely.
what my next step is.
Yes. And then,
Always
and
ask
then look for
guides,
it.
what's
Or
my next
sign.
step?
Yeah. Give me a sign, what's my next step? And that phone, and help me recognize that next step. Because sometimes we're still in our fear-based loop, right? And we can meditate in the morning and be in our fear-based loop the rest of the day. But help me, what's my next step? And help me see my next step when you show it to me.
I say it
You
all
know?
the time. I'm like, what's my next step? Show me the next step. When I'm like with the store, do you know what I mean? And I can't figure it out and I'm stuck. That's what I say. I'm like, show me the next step.
Mm,
And I've said it might not come right then and there. It might come the next day. The answer will come, but people don't ask. It's
mhm.
that simple. We think that miracles only happen to other people. Miracles don't happen for us. Do you know what I mean? No. Like, oh, miracles are in movies. No, they're not. You know what I mean? Oh, telepathy and psychic visions, and that only happens to special people. No, it doesn't. We're all fucking special. We can all do it. I am so giddy at the fact that I tapped into this shit. I grew up my whole life like watching those movies, like, I wish I had those special powers. I wish I was psychic. I wish I knew what people were thinking. I wish I could talk to dead people, not knowing the whole fucking time I could, right? Like, not knowing like why, like, I was already seeing and hearing those things, knowing that I was different. We all grew up weird. Yes or no? All of us in here, we did not.
Yes.
We were not. We were not.
Typical.
Typical. We
Nope.
weren't. We just weren't.
Mm,
We weren't meant to be. We couldn't be. We were not. We didn't come down for that. We needed to have that experience of being different because we are. Okay.
mhm.
There are, and let me take this back. When I say we all have this gift, we are, but there are a lot of souls that are fillers, that are here to fill the space. I literally had a lifetime where I was a Native woman and I just had babies. I didn't do nothing. I didn't try to heal anybody, do nothing. I guess I just needed to pop out them babies. I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't
Mhm.
But
accomplish anything.
I think it's about taking action as well. It's not like you can just say, right, okay, angels, guides, like I want to see dead people.
No.
Like
Oh, right. Well, that's
you
what I'm
have to
saying. You
take
have
steps.
to.
Like
That's what
some
I
people
said.
think, do you know what I mean? That they can just say, oh, I want to win like $1 million, and then it's like sit on their ass. It's like not taking steps of like actually having that kind of money or having this path, or do you know what I mean? Like
Of
you have
course.
to put the work in as
Of
well.
course.
You
Yeah,
really
that's
do.
why I said, like, once I figured, that's why it's like, I even said it, Karina, when we introduced ourselves, I was like, I'm a grand Reiki master, and all that means is that I took a bunch of fucking classes. That's it. You know what I mean? That's all that means. I was like, I'm
But
not
you are
anybody
though.
special. I just learned, I practiced, I tapped in. That's
Mhm.
it. So, like, yeah.
But
But
exactly, but you did take the steps, you did take the class,
uh,
and you did
but
practice,
even,
you
but I told
know?
you guys, even when I went running the other day, I was getting super frustrated because I'm like, I'm doing all these things. Like, where is the financial abundance? Because, like I said, I didn't want it, but I literally just asked for it. So I should, but I'm like, because I said I didn't care about money and I didn't, but I'm like, okay, now I need it so I can help my homeless people. So last year I was like, okay, I'm going to shift my mindset. I'm going to work on this. But this whole year went by and I'm like, wait, what happened? How come nothing shifted? And I told you I was on that run, literally crying. And I'm like, guys, what am I doing wrong? Show me the next step. Like, what am I doing wrong? And they were like, Kim, you have no
You need to be
respect.
attuned to money, Reiki.
It came right away. They were like, you have no respect for money. You have no respect for my, I mean, it came right away. I mean, you want to, I was running and crying and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Like, you don't
Yes.
I
respect
promise
it.
I'll respect the money. Now give me the money, bitch.
Yes. And you know what? After that fucking run, I shifted my shit. I started like respecting money,
Yeah.
and I'll be damned. I'm telling you,
Flow,
that
flow, flow,
shit
flow.
shifted
Mhm.
very fucking quickly. I have
Mhm.
envelopes of cash now where I was struggling. Like October, November, I was like, oh my God, like bills needed to be paid and I didn't have anywhere to pull from. I usually have like I'll pull from here to pay. No problem. Money flows. Things started, I was like, what is going on? What the
Mhm.
fuck? But I didn't panic. I didn't say anything because I was like, okay, this is all a result of my actions, my decisions, my choices. What the fuck am I doing? I gotta change something. Da-da-da. I have two fucking jobs. There's no reason why I should never not have money.
Right.
The store, I shifted it all around, and I'll be damned if it did not shift quickly. And I was like, oh, well, look at that.
Mhm.
I'm not spending like Oprah. Yeah. Huh, that's simple. Look,
Look at that.
just showed some respect. Actually had some fiscal responsibility.
I
Do you know what I
know,
mean?
but like it would be nice if we had money like Oprah.
But yeah, but and I didn't make any more. I didn't
No,
schedule more Reiki
Kim, you
sessions.
remember whenever
I
I
did
was
less.
trying to help you and you were like, we did one of the things and I was like, well, I sent you all the money and it should be sitting in your Venmo. And then she was like, I'm worried that somebody else got that because I don't recognize that account. We went back and forth trying to figure things out for about an hour. And then lo and behold, I went into my email and there was a clever different email and I said
My
it to her.
old email, Songbird
Old email,
NYNY, from when I was a singer in New York, that Yahoo, have not used it. And I was like,
$350 later that was sitting in that account for her. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. We were both like, make it rain.
I was like, Karina, did you send that money? She's like, Kim, I sent that days ago. And I was like, what? Where? So I thought I got hacked because I'm constantly getting hacked on like TikTok and Instagram. So I was like, what was the email? What was the email on that account? Because I was going to report it. And she was like, Songbird NYNY. And I was like, wait, that's my email. There was 300 some dollars sitting in that PayPal account that I had no idea. I had no idea I had that money sitting there. So had Karina not said anything, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, cha-ching.
We were
And
both celebrating.
what
Mhm.
Kim would have done is like, oh my God, let's go take the kids out to the jump park. Let's go do something. I was like, nope, put that right back into the bank. And it really is like, and I know some people are probably listening, like, yeah, is she a fucking idiot? That's simple. Like, who doesn't like save? I wasn't taught that. My parents, like, that's why I said the schools, fuck, I have not used any fucking geometry or trigonometry. You should have taught me how to balance a
I
checkbook.
know.
You should have taught me
Hell,
how to
oh
cook.
yes.
You should have taught me how to like not get angry. They need to
Mhm.
incorporate yoga, meditation, financial
Yes,
classes,
yes,
you
yes,
know.
yes, yes.
You all you did was teach me how to be scared, teach me
Mhm,
that I needed to go to college or I was going to be a fucking loser. You
mhm,
taught me how to conform. You didn't teach me shit.
mhm.
So it's okay.
Poverty mentality. I'm
Yep.
saying mentality. And the reason I'm adding this in is because my mother, 95 with dementia or whatever, she never wants to change her diaper. It's sopping wet. And I mean sopping wet.
He
And
wants to
she
say,
doesn't want to, she wants to save it. But my money issues are poverty mentality too. I
yeah,
see it in my own life. And it's some unhealed stuff on my part.
yep.
That-
It was
Yeah.
my,
Yeah.
yes, it was my unhealed trauma. Exactly. My parents were like, no, no, no. McDonald's, a Happy Meal was like fucking like a treat for that would might as well be Christmas.
Oh my
Santa.
God, I know. Like fish and
Same
so
here.
fish and chips. I remember fish and chips used to cost like 50p. It's like I don't even know how much it is now, but do you know what I mean? And back then that was like you'd have that between the whole family.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. So that's why I said the pendulum. And now I gave my kids everything, which is stupid because I'm not even, and it's like I said, on Monday when we met, I was literally had my hand on the wall of the house. and was just in tears. And I'm looking at my daughter and my son in their bunk bed in the same room. And I was like, you could have had them out of this house years ago had you been more careful with your money. You have spent thousands of dollars. And then ego, right? And then my higher self was like, stop it. Stop it. You have given them so many fun memories. They've had
Yes.
an amazing, fun
Yeah.
childhood so far. Stop it. That's why I was like, am I? And they were like, you're going to keep that store for 3 more years. You're going to keep doing your Reiki. You are going to keep saving your money because now you have shifted your mindset. And Kim, in 3 years, you will get your kids out of this house. You're going to have a bigger and better house. We're going to keep this house as an investment, right? So they were like, no, stop. Because what do? We go into that fear mindset. We start to, I
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
start to spiral. It started, but it didn't. It didn't even take the second step because I stopped and I was like, nope. And I went right away into gratitude. Right away, instead of going into, oh, I fucked up. I did it. I'm such a loser. I went into, oh my God,
Yeah, because
thank you.
like, so if you look at it, like if you're the people you're helping, the homeless people, you've had a roof over your head and your children have had a roof over their head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And
l-
that's why,
say you have a house.
yeah. Yeah. So that's why I had to go. That's exactly why I went into gratitude. Yeah, Jane, she made enough money to buy Miami, but I pissed it away. I made enough money working at ESPN Zone. When I was in my 20s, I was making $3,000 cash a week. When I was 24, I had no debt and $10,000 in savings.
Oh my gosh.
Continued on that path, I could have bought $1 million house cash here in Pittsburgh or a $500,000 house cash in New York, in New Jersey. I could have bought a really nice house there, but I decided that cocaine was much better. Um, by the time I was 26, not only had I blown through all of my savings, but I was still continuing to make that money, all of it. How much can you drink and cocaine can you do, honestly? And I did all of it. I didn't save any of it. I drank it. I did, yeah. And again, coulda, shoulda, woulda. I have no regrets because of I feel like I went through that darkness to be the healer that I am. That had I not gone through, and it's so funny because there was one day where I was just like, my ego and my higher self were just being funny. And I was like thinking about all the drugs and alcohol and all those years I spent. And then I looked in the mirror and I was thinking about all my clients and everybody I've helped and thinking like, if I wouldn't have gone through that, I wouldn't have been able to help them. So I was like, you're welcome. You're welcome that I went through 20 years of hell. You know what I mean? Like I had to, like I I I couldn't be who I am today if I was not. Do you know what I mean? Look, I'm a hope dealer. I couldn't be a hope dealer if I never knew what it was like to look for hope. Do you know what I mean? That's why I said those homeless people, like I know I had lifetimes because I can't tell you how many times I've sat in my addiction and I had literally dropped to my knees. I'll never forget the one time in Jersey in my mom's apartment, with the day that I tried to kill myself. I bought enough cocaine. I bought an 8 ball, which is enough cocaine to kill a fucking horse. And I dropped to my knees. I dropped to my knees and I cried. I was like, God, please. I cannot live like this anymore. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to drink. I don't want to do drugs. Like, please help me stop, please. And I did all that cocaine and I wrote my first note to my sister. She had bought me my Chihuahua and I was like, I know, I'm sorry. I know you tried to help me, but I just can't stop. I just can't stop. I did the cocaine. I did so much of it that it wouldn't even go up my nose anymore. I was like, and the powder just kept falling out. That's how stuffed my nose was. I didn't even finish it. I went to sleep. My mom came home around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. She ran a karaoke bar in New York City. She doesn't read English, didn't even see my suicide note sitting there. I somehow woke up at 9 something the next day and went to work. I ripped up my suicide note and I was like, okay, I guess tonight was not the night. I don't know how. My body did all that. I don't know how, but I just know those homeless people are sitting there and and only by the grace of God, because I had a mom who allowed me to stay in her house and who didn't keep me. And I could have paid my own rent, but I was saving to move to LA because I thought moving to LA was going to solve my problems. And it didn't. The first night I moved to LA, my friend who I worked with in New York was like, "Hey, Kimmy, welcome to LA. You want a line?" The first night I was in LA, I was like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me." Um, so that didn't help. But those homeless people sitting there begging, please, God, like a blanket, something. Do you know what I mean? And that is why I do that, because I remember that desperation. I remember, and they're on drugs, because if you could you how else could you survive living on the street and in the cold and being in that situation? You know what I mean? And I just know that I've had multiple lifetimes in that situation, but in this lifetime, I made sure that I wasn't going to be homeless. I made sure that I had a job. I didn't have to like, and I'm just going to say it, and I know this is on YouTube, but because I know people wonder, and it's funny because I've never cared to explain it, but the other day my guides were like, people wonder this. And I was like, do they? But I never fucked anybody for drugs. I never had to suck dick for drugs. I never did any of that. And it's so funny because I never did that. I never think that people think that. But a lot of people who are crack, heroin, cocaine, they didn't have good $3,000 paying bartending jobs like I did. Do you know what I mean? I had a job that could afford all the drugs that I was doing. So I never hit a low. Even before I went to rehab, I hit a high low. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how we got to this talking about the homeless, but anyway, um, yeah, life, right? The ups and downs and everything that we've gone through. So, the anger, like I said, I used to come home and drink. I found a security sticker. It was somebody peeled it off of a bottle and stuck it on, and it was me. I had been working, so I was pissed. I'm like, how did I die? Do you know what I mean? So again, it was like a second, but then I was like, I literally said, I'm gonna choose to see this differently. I'm gonna
Mm.
choose to not get upset. And I literally did it. And I was like,
Way to go. That's so hard.
I
It's
didn't.
so we're doing such a good job. I feel like we're all growing so much. But I saw this author, he's amazing, speak one time a couple of years ago. His name is Ed Milet. And he talks about the power of one more, like the power of just trying one more time or just
Yep.
asking for help one more time. And he said, and I'll never forget this, we are most equipped to help the people we used to be.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And that's why I said, and I was being sassy and snarky when I said, like, you're
Right.
welcome.
You're welcome.
Because it's true. Like, I went through that so that I could help others. My soul literally chose to go through fucking hell so that I could help others, so that I could know and tell them that hope is possible. I know so many people who knew me from New York who saw what a cokehead I was. Look at me and like, how the fuck did she get sober? How the fuck did she get sober? Because I'm telling you, if I can do it, it's possible. It is possible. You know, you guys don't know me from back then, but Renee, the other admin in Echoes, like, she's seen it. She saw it all. I mean, oh, I was so mean. I was so mean. And I was mean on purpose. And I enjoyed being mean because people were so mean to me that I was like, if I'm mean first, I'm going to establish dominance so that people know not to fuck with me. And that is why I ended up doing alcohol and drugs, because I thought I was a badass. But meanwhile, I was a poor little girl crying in her grown ass body. You know what I mean? Didn't know how to act like a grown ass responsible adult. And even yet, still dealing with like the financial fiscal part of that. Even years later, that wave. How crazy is that? Now, just now in this year at 47, getting that together, but moving through it with grace. And instead of being like, God, I'm such a fucking loser. Okay, I'm gonna make better choices. What else can I do?
I know. And choose to see things differently.
And
But
choose to see
you are
things
such a ray of light, and you have
now.
oh my gosh, you have helped so many people already. And I feel like this is just your beginning. Like you're
Yeah,
still, coming into your own power and beauty and all your gifts, and they're just like becoming, stronger. So I feel like this is just the beginning for you, and you are using your story for so much good and so much healing for others.
I
So
can't
thank
wait. When I'm 70, they showed me that I'm gonna be so non-reactive. I was like, because I was like looking into my Akashic records and I was like, show me what I'm gonna look like at 70. And when I'm 70, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be like that lady with the long white hair, with the long white robes. And I'm just like, they showed me I was somewhere and these kids or these adults were like fighting or reacting. And they showed me just like looking and observing and not saying anything and just like extending love and Reiki to the whole situation without saying a word. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to be that person. Like
yes.
I was just so like, oh, look at that.
And that's happening. Yeah.
I was, I can't wait till I get there. I'm like, that's amazing. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh wow, okay. So yeah, I'm like in 20 years, I'm excited about that. You know what I mean? So that's why like I'm creeping towards 50, but I truly feel human years, I am more closer to instead of 47, I feel like mentally I'm more at about 27. And that makes sense because they said she said I got 2 years, I got better to get it. You when you drink, your brain stops developing. So I started drinking at 16. So makes sense, right? So I've been sober for so mentally I'm about 21, but I feel 27 because I feel really mature for my age. So but yeah.
And also you don't look your age either.
No.
You
Oh,
look way younger.
you know
Way
what's so
younger.
talking
Jeez,
about saving
12.
money? I was sitting here and I was like, okay, because I've been doing my own nails to save money. I'm gonna do them today. So I was like, they have this new cryofacial thing. And I did this, what I did the last video talking about the home, and I normally don't care, but I was like, ooh, that neck is aging. I'm like, okay. So I was like, see, now I can save my money and I'll actually have money to go get that cryofacial thing that I want.
Oh my gosh.
Literally,
That's why I always put moisturizer on my neck. Because I'm like, I don't want that like
gotta start
wrinkly.
doing. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing better skincare. And it's really about skincare and little Asian trick. If you get an aloe plant, guys, an aloe plant, you can get anywhere like Home Depot, anywhere super cheap. Cut off a little bit of the aloe, and I started doing it because your hands start to age. You rub aloe on your hands and your face, and you can
Right.
literally feel it tightening up and on your
Oh
neck too. So I'm gonna go buy an aloe leaf today, actually.
my
Yeah,
God,
it-
thank you.
yes, it's
Because
the
my hands are
natural.
really dry at the moment and they look like old ladies' hands.
Yep. So I'm actually going to do a before picture and I'm going to take a picture of my face now and I'm going to do it consistently and then show a year later what my hands and face look
Oh
like.
my gosh, that's a
Using the
brilliant
aloe
idea.
because people are like,
We
oh, I
should
don't
all
have
do
money.
that.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I don't have money. An aloe leaf is $3, a big ass aloe leaf from the Hispanic stores, and I'm sure you can find them somewhere. But they're like, yeah, or you can buy an aloe plant and it just keeps growing and you just cut a little piece off, rub it all over. Yeah. So
Thank you. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm so excited.
'cause I'm starting to see it. So until I save up for my cryo, I'm gonna get my aloe.
No, just use the aloe.
Yes, yes. But all right, ladies, I love you all so much. And then, hey, leads, let's talk because Nelly had a great idea about doing the Ascended Masters. I have a whole list of Ascended Masters from Garrett from when I did my Akashic Records training with him. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
snapshot it and send it to you guys, and then maybe we can do start that like next week. We'll do an Ascended Masters because tapping
Perfect.
into them,
Yeah,
asking for help.
perfect.
You know what I
That's
mean? So yeah.
yeah, send it
But,
to us. That would be great.
let's do
Awesome.
that. Yeah. So thank you, Nelly, for that because we also need to get familiar with them more as well. So
Yeah, that's a great
great
idea.
suggestion, and we'll start that next week. Yep. All right,
Okay.
guys. I love it. I love our chats. Ooh,
Thank
stop.
you. Thank you.
Thank you,
All right,
everyone.
guys.
Love you
I love
guys.
you. We'll see
Love
you
you.
tomorrow.